Good morning, folks. It's 6:07 a.m. here at San Francisco. Well, at a rundown part of a terminal, but now I can see the reality is I remember my father. Either one. How people look at me and stare at me and see me, they do all of these motions. You know, when they see me and they hold their hand on their chest as if I'm a person who's cursed, walking the earth. As my mother went into an apartment one time in the 50s, 60s, and something slapped her in the face. Because somehow my brother, God bless his soul, and keep him, is managing to pay for all the expenses of the funeral, the memorial, everything. Other relatives also have the money. So the needs that I have, the immediate needs to overcome my poverty, were very minimal. One, I was offered a job paying $2,000 US a week. I would have been able to net easily $2,000 US a week. The only impediment I had was one, there was a Hispanic sister who was holding the job open for me. And suddenly, okay, I'm going to give you the chronology. About a month and a half, 2 months ago, I went, sacrificed sleeping in LA, sleeping in the bus stations, walking around San Pedro, 7th Alameda, back and forth throughout LA, riding out to Compton, riding out to East LA, riding out to Rancho Cucamonga, sleeping on the ground on the parking lot, freezing cold in Chino and all of Chino, California. Eventually applied to 2 or 3 places, got both jobs. The only thing I had to do was a road test. I was rusty on my road test, on my driving skills. So there is an area outside of San Francisco called Stockton. There are no real driving schools. There's no space for any driving schools, truck driving schools in San Francisco. Outside of San Francisco is a city called Stockton. There's a driving school out there run by a Latino brother. Recently started, very professional brother, Hispanic brother. So he needs about $1,000 since he doesn't need to give me any curriculum. All I needed was practice to be able to pass the road test. Things I know how to do, the backing up, the maneuvering, the jackknifing, all that, you know. And he wanted $1,000, so I went to the Muslim community, mostly run by Palestinians, which why they're catching hell in Palestine is because of the actions they're doing to fellow minority brothers outside. Is reverberating back in Philistine. And they catch hell for that. The negativity of what they do, the zulm, it reverberates back in Philistine. So I went to them and look, because I felt there was nobody in the family I could ask. I could ask anybody in my family for the $1,000, right? That's the first obstacle. Second, no dealership here locally because there is a severe racial prejudice here in San Francisco. There's a lot of hidden, discreet racial prejudice, especially anti-Afro racial bigotry. Very discreet, listen to me, despite the gay rights in our gay brothers and sisters community, it's very discreet to ostracize Afro-Americans. It's kept very discreet. It's mostly Asiatic, Filipino things, but if you're ugly like me or really too Afro in appearance, you have too much of an African appearance, they ostracize you and they marginalize you in the corner discreetly. It's been known for a long time. That's why you have a lot of angry Afro-Americans, particularly from the East Bay, Oakland, Black Power movements and all that kind of stuff. That's why they're so angry. It's very discreet here. So I pleaded with the Palestinians or whatever recently in San Jose, run by Sufi mystic Indian ancestry, wealthy people who are originally from London. It's the pinnacle of the head Sufi Diabanis, which run the Jamaat Tabligh, and the foolish detective Glenn Kearns of Seattle. They said they couldn't say I was J.I., which I have nothing to do with. They want to say, well, J.T. They want to say I was J something. So, and back in 2004, locking me up for a phone bill. That was the end of that. So I went to the Palestinians recently, asked them nothing. They never called me back again after taking all my information. I went to Dr. Nadeem, Indo-Pakistani of Santa Clara, ran for politics. That's why he didn't get the position, because Allah knew, His Majesty, the Creator, knew what kind of person he really was. kicked the can for landing me around, got rid of me, didn't do anything. But somehow my brother made sure for the funeral arrangements he had the money. But when I asked before, he said, well, those things happen. Do what you got to do. What I'm saying is this money, this help would have allowed me to become economically viable. I would have been economically viable. I would have been making $2,000 a week. All I needed was one ouch. Since I had to hold my phallus, my penis, to come here and pee so I didn't spray all over the toilet. And it came out painfully as I was squeezing it too hard. Oh, God have mercy on us. All I needed was $1,000 calendar week to pay the $1,000 to the Institute and have one calendar week at the wheel, maybe even a few days, because the instructor, the Hispanic brother, would have allowed me to go at my own pace, unlimited. He said, I'm willing to give you unlimited time, or I see something on my penis that's just not good. It's like first time in my life I'm seeing this. I'm actually seeing blood, bleeding in my penis. I'm seeing blood. This is the first time. I've never seen this in my life. So I'm forced to live out here on the streets, not being able to really take care of myself. And I think that we try to wash ourselves in this after we go to the bathroom. Every time we wash our private parts. So I pleaded with people to help me with this $1,000 weeks ago. Nobody would help, right? That would have enabled me to pass the road test. That was the last hurdle I had to get the job. The job has been offered. You have the job, Adam. It's yours. All you got to do is pass the road test. Nobody helped. Then, in addition to that, to get out there, Stockton's public transport system is not as frequent as San Francisco at all. It's now like 6:11 as I'm speaking to you now in the morning. It's not frequent at all. At all, brother. Not at all. So, very sparse. So what I would have to do was had to have a vehicle. I would have had to have access to a vehicle, right? Car dealerships here. I applied right for credit, for a vehicle. I applied for credit. Everybody turned me down locally. A car dealership in the more aggressive state, like one of the rundown states in Michigan and Detroit, whatever, one of those states, 6 VKY 661. 6 Victor Kilo Yankee 661. One of the rundown states, Detroit, Michigan, whatever, Ohio, the dealership. Oh shit! It's a bus. It's a bus. What the dealership in Ohio in the Midwest approved me for credit, $1,500. Thank you, brother. So the dealership down there, right? Down in the Midwest, approved me for a vehicle, a good SUV. But since my credit was so bad, he said that I would have to pay it off in 11 payments or 10 payments or less, basically with no interest. $1,500 I had to put down. $1,500. He said, all you have to do is come here and get the vehicle.